You hear that? It sounds like a guy that's never moved the needle to you.
Is that CM Punk chance?
So that happened this weekend. Arguably the most worst kept secret, but best kept secret in a way, right? I know you're couldn't care less, Mac. Well, not that you couldn't care less. I know we've had conversations regarding Punk before and the rumors and all that. I mean, I just want to know how. I mean, did you guys see it live? I mean, well, what were you guys feeling when you saw it? For me, I was surprised they opened up with it. I thought they were gonna save it for last, just to make it interesting, but they served it to him like right away.
They would have never been invested in the show if they.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it just would have been like the chance all night, right? That's true. But
right.
I will say I enjoyed the fact that he didn't just go on this anti-WWE tirade. You know what I mean? Yep. Like he alluded to it, but I think the most important part about it, and that's the only thing I wanted to bring up on my end, was because that's been the most glanced over, ignored, or otherwise misinformed part about the whole situation with Punk. People can feel how they feel, and that everyone's entitled to their opinion, but what and I mean that in the realm of being a fan of who you want to be a fan of and not being a fan of who you don't want to be a fan of, right? But when I was seeing before the MMA stuff, everyone's just calling him this quitter, and I'm like, dude, there's like a whole story that I think you should listen to. Like there's 2 parts. Go check out the Coco Cabana podcast, and then just listen to his side before you decide he's just this guy that just said fuck it. You know what I mean? Because the way I had to shorthand it to someone, they're like, oh, they're not, I hit him up because like, hey, did I hear that there's a rumor that CM Punk's coming back? This is a lapsed fan, right? I'm like, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be, going through. And he's like, man, he's coming back to WWE. I'm like, no, I don't think he's never going back. Wait, why? I'm like, well, besides the fact that they sued him for him trying to sue their doctor for misdiagnosing the fact that he had a staph infection and could have fucking died at any point. I'm like, that's just one of many things. I was like, I don't see them getting back, and even with the WWE backstage thing, that wasn't their call. That was Fox wanting to put up the money. Like Fox was like, when it came to that, they were like, yeah, he's probably not going to do it. And then he's like, I'll do it for a certain amount of money. They're like, well, if you can get him for this amount of money, we'll pay for some of it.
He likes to talk, and he likes to talk about wrestling, and Fox was going to give him that opportunity,
Yeah, exactly. And they were smart enough to know that this is going to draw people in to want to see it. You know what I mean? And but fast forward to now, dude, like it's funny because I know one thing he did say is he contributed Renee on Renee what's her real name now?
Paquette.
Thank you. I was gonna go
Renee Moxley.
Yeah, Renee Moxley.
Renee Ambrose.
Seriously, it's like we named our first son Dean after his character. That was whack. But like, yeah, I guess he attributed him getting the bug again to her like bugging him to like, yo, you should really try out this WWE backstage thing. So he said he wasn't even really interested until he actually started feeling the bug again. Some other the quotes I've read in the media stuff is, I guess him and Tony have been talking about this for over a year and a half, which is incredible.
Which I'm glad they held off on until there was fans.
Yeah, I mean, he said that for him, it wasn't about like them needing to prove anything to him as a company. He just needed to feel like it was going to be worth it. Not so much specifically to take the chance on them, but just taking the chance to come back. Period. Which
makes sense. You said like he's a paranoid person, and the WWE kind of burned him out a little bit. So you didn't make the case. He's like, well, I just want to make sure Tony and the AEW system's not going to do the same to me, like because he doesn't want to like build himself up for it and then realize it was same old shit, And
it's like, yeah, I feel like he's already been disenfranchised from that experience to even want to give anybody remotely a chance. Because remember, he had that interview. I think Chris Van Vliet asked him. He's like, oh, I'm never coming back. And he was just making like being a troll about it. He's like, yeah, they're really going to hate me online for that, but the last thing I'll say, and I just want to hear from you guys how, I mean, I imagine it was a lot of different things. He said one of the biggest things that he felt was like important in terms of how he knew he could trust them to keep this whole environment, like, or I guess secret intact and holding it together as far as like not for, I mean, a whole year and a half, right? He said the way that they handled the Brody thing and his health, that was a huge thing for him. So I thought that was very interesting. But I mean, he's back. I mean, I was surprised that they had him call out Darby so soon. I mean, obviously he already made reference to him, but again, I wasn't mad at what he did, what he said. It was short. It was, I mean, not short. It wasn't too bad, too long. He wasn't, shooting,
Yep.
Kept it real. I mean, how'd y'all feel, man?
No, you go first, Mac.
Well, first off, I don't have a problem with CM Punk.
Yeah, I like the team.
I just missed that era, so it doesn't hit the same for me.
I can understand that.
You know what I mean? Because there's certain people that when I look back to people that were like really cracking in that era, if I knew them from before, it's like, nah, you're Edge from the Brood. But
that ain't gonna fly around here.
So excuse me for that those gaps I took. But I will say, seeing the return and hearing the pop and seeing everybody's reaction, and I always like to see when people come back and you can tell they missed it. When he walked out and he at first he was, kind of just taunting the crowd a little bit, but then you could kind of see him taking it in. You could see that that adrenaline rush of like the energy coming in. And so seeing that was dope, and seeing the reception was dope, and the fact that he didn't go out there and throw a bunch of mud. He kind of just stuck to the moment that it was instead of trying to like build on some old.
Hey, this is the soapbox y'all been waiting for 7 years. So for real. It was like
I appreciated that. Yeah, I think the moment went over the way it was supposed to, the way it was expected. I think it met the expectation, and I think it set the table for hopefully some dope stuff going forward. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of him. I don't think he sucks or anything. He's just not my guy.
I mean, this could be your opportunity to
now,
which is actually kind of a cool like second chapter on his career.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully whatever comes is cool and it's dope and it's not forced, because I don't want
absolutely
want them to go down that road,
when we're like, because the one thing I joked about, I'm like, damn, he could low key bring back the Straight Edge Society. We got Luke Gallows and Serena Deeb in that bitch, you know what I mean? But we ain't got to go and do fantasy booking right away. It's like, because that's one thing I thought was unique is him or Tony are revealing how long the deal is, and that it's just between them. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
I would assume it's at least a year.
I would think at the least. I mean, in the promo he said 4 Sundays or Saturdays a year. So, but it made it sound like he's coming back full time. But yeah, I agree with you, bro. Like you see him, it was cool to see him smile in that setting again, like where he never thought that being in that setting would make him feel
right.
And back to the how we felt, and he kind of elaborated on that in the promo, talking about 2005 and like 15 years later he's back. You know what I mean? So I thought it was cool. Did you guys hear about that whole crying guy? I hate to call him that, but everyone's been calling him that online.
Yeah.
So he blew up, and now like I didn't personally see a whole lot of negative used with this guy's picture. I saw someone say like, damn, I never seen someone in wrestling ever Michael Jackson over a superstar. I was like, I thought that was funny, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought that was light. But anything else, everybody was like, man, this is how you know this was a moment. This is magical. This is emotional drama, all this, right?
The people at Wrestle Talk cried too.
I wouldn't, you know what I mean? But it's funny because I woke up the next morning and Time and Dreamers like, I see everyone's making fun of the crying guy. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get him free tickets to go to Slammiversary. I'm like, I think you need to give everyone free tickets to go to Slammiversary, but that's a side. But and then he's like, and I'm also gonna talk to Tony Khan to see if we can get him tickets for all. I'm like, for what? He was one of many people that cried. Like I was, but
he's just the person the camera flashed on at that moment.
Yeah, it was just like that was their Ms. girl, right? Like they got to get the memorable like facial expression.
So,
I want to hear what you had to.
So that evening, I had a feeling it was happening. So I was like it's like we knew it was gonna happen, but we also had that like, well, what if it doesn't? So I was gonna shut down my phone. Kind of basically, I was like, I doubt
just totally shut out. Yeah, I feel you.
But then I got like a notification at like 7:05, right? And it didn't say anything wrestling related. And then I clicked on it, it was wrestling related. So I was like, oh fuck. So I got it kind of spoiled.
Yeah, because
I wanted to watch it organically.
Because I was gonna say we were looking. It was one of the. I was in Vegas, of course, but I was looking to see if they potentially had like the early broadcast of it, but they didn't.
Coast feed, right?
Yeah, but it was like, no, it's still at 10, and then my brother hit me up. Was like, hey, dude, there's a stream that says it's the early streams starts at 7. So I was just watching on my phone, And then, so from there, I was just like, man, I'm not waiting until 10. Fuck that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, as soon as you said 7:05, I'm like, yeah, definitely it had already started by then.
So
that's when I watched it. Yeah.
And there's probably no way that I was gonna make it 3 hours without finding something else. So I'm not too 100%. Upset by it. So I end up at 10 o'clock though. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch it in its entirety. And like, although it was spoiled for me, it was still like one of the most special moments I think in a very long time in wrestling. Like, because keep in mind, like, what a lot of people don't realize is there's a reason why Mac probably wasn't watching wrestling back then. Because it sucked. It was bad. And John Cena the year before didn't put over Nexus. It was just same old shit every week. But for some reason, we just kept watching. But we were all probably another 4 to 5 months away from probably just being like, fuck this. I'm going to stop watching again. And when Punk did the pipe bomb and he had the summer of Punk and then he even had those questionable feuds of Kevin Nash and shit.
Did you see that tweet that Kevin Nash put, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's CM Punk. I thought he was dead.
CM Punk.
Touche, Mr. Nash. Touche. Right. You love to see it.
But CM Punk then goes on the year-run reign with the title, and then he leaves. And luckily for the WWE, in my opinion, Daniel Bryan's story happened immediately after. And it was kind of happening as Punk was leaving, actually.
Well, I mean, I remember Punk was like saying, like, this is your guy. Like, I don't know why you don't strap a rocket to him. Like, it's obvious that they're getting behind him. And then it was almost like they didn't want to immediately admit he was right. So that's why they're like, well, we're still going to have Randy cash in on him first. And then, and then we'll build him up. Like, we'll test it out. And like, oh, the people actually reacted to it because he beat John Cena, of all people. It was like, I remember that. Yeah, they kind of went full force with the Daniel Bryan thing because they had a huge gaping hole with Punk being gone. So, yeah.
And then, Seth Rollins and some of these other wrestlers, Bray Wyatt, eventually WWE got a little better. And then, so that's, I think, why we've been sticking it out is because the talent's there at least now. It's just we're just not as invested.
There was a lot of repeat feuds or the same feuds for months, which, hey, a lot of classic wrestling's built on the long feuds, but you're like, how many times can we see CM Punk and John Cena or Randy and John Cena? Or like it's just like they're relying on the same 3 or 4 guys, and there wasn't a whole lot of new people being brought in. Like, dude.
So what a lot of people don't realize at the time is like it was John Cena and then probably CM Punk in terms of like star power in wrestling, and you can make the
probably
case,
merch too. Yeah,
I think CM Punk outsold John Cena for a period of time as well. Like it was getting to the point
before they started messing, like giving him some boo-boo designs on his shirts. So I was like, yellow.
And then he leaves, and we're like, okay, we want him to come back. But then after a while, we start accepting that he may not, or do we want him to come back because it might ruin how we felt. But then when he comes out, and it's, in a weird way, like we've been fancy booking for him to come back, is we thought it would be part of a storyline because that's as wrestling as it gets, and he's a pro, and we thought it would come back storyline wise. But the fact that he kind of came back as like Phil in a way.
Very true, especially in his hometown. Yeah, like that.
It was extremely special. It was just kind of like, hey, like I'm doing this for myself and you guys now. And I think it was one of those, like, for anybody who kind of was frustrated with the situation or who kind of soured on him. I think a lot of people were like, oh, you know what? Okay, I can root for Punk again.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated when he did take that time where he's like, if there's anything, when I was going through my stuff where you felt like I'd let you down or disappointed you, like, I was like, that sucks that he has to do that because it's like, it shouldn't matter. Right. I mean, because they're not him and it's not, their health, their life and all that good stuff. But it's like, it was such a pro move to say that because he knows that there's still going to be people like, I mean, dude, the moment that there was a lot of people talking about it, there was just as many haters that were just jumping on like, oh, so you hate when they bring back Goldberg, but when CM Punk comes back, I'm like, oh my God, bro, it's not the same thing.
Well, like, CM Punk hasn't dropped anybody on their dome piece.
Dude, I mean, and we're gonna get into it because we saw what he almost did to Bobby too. God damn.
Oh, dude, I was like,
but one thing I did want to say is obviously he immediately had a new shirt, he promoted for it. Bro, we couldn't get So this is how bad the site was. I kept trying to get a shirt, and every time it allowed me to pick my size, and it'd be like confirm and view cart, right? I go to the cart, and it would just pretty much circle time me, right? And then by the time it'd be done, it'd be like, sorry, your cart's empty. I'm like, no, it's not, right? Or it'd have a different number. It'd be like the 3 times I did it, it'd be like there's 3 shirts, and I'm like, how? You just told me there was none, right? And then I finally got one, because by the time towards like 2 o'clock in the morning, it got a little bit easier. It wouldn't let me go to my credit card information, so I just went straight through PayPal. I got a confirmation from PayPal. Never got a confirmation email from them though, and I thought that was weird. I wake up the next morning. Why do I have 11 separate charges of CM Punk shirts? All times that it didn't even go through. And they had to send a bunch of people emails, because I was like, dude, what the heck? Because I looked, I'm like, because I have it where my bank tells me what my balance is every time like I wake up. So it was like, plus I'm in Vegas, I want to make sure I'm good. And it was like, I'm like, yo, where did $300 go missing from? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what the hell? And I not go, I freaking
hell no.
Look, I'm like, yo, scrolling. It's like all the same, like single. It's not 1 and 11 of them. It's 1, 2, and all different like transaction numbers. And I had to hit him up with quickness. So it wasn't just me. A lot of people were going through it too. So he broke the internet, bro. Like it was
broke the bank account. I would have hit CM Punk personally, like, bro, you owe me
you owe me an ice cream, man.
I was thinking, I was like, can you at least send me a voucher for an ice cream or something, man? That's the least you could do right at this. But the one thing I thought that was kind of funny was, this came off the heels of like that Roman Reigns comment, and I know people are gonna say, oh yeah, of course, but that was in Chicago. So, but I'm like, it could have been another place. And I think
it could have been anywhere. I think the pop would have been big. It's just Chicago is like, let's add another couple decimal to that.
See, that's the thing too, is Chicago has the world-renowned Road Warrior pop. And then I don't know if you saw, Tommy Dreamer had said, well, the Road Warrior pop has now been retired. It's now the Punk pop. And I'm like, I feel you, but don't just get off the nuts a little bit, Tommy.
Right. And plus, like, CM Punk also got that same pop. Like, I'm not saying the same pop. It was a bigger pop here, actually. But like when he had Money in the Bank. Like when he went against John Cena, it was a huge pop. Like,
dude, like,
and what I also like about the whole thing is technically Darby Allin has been like building this and for a couple weeks, so it kind of makes sense that they would have the all out match, but it's also a very like low stakes, average expectations.
Like what, 2-3 weeks out? Let's just book him on there. Yeah,
it's just like we want to see what he's got, but like it's not going to ruin the card. It's not like CM Punk versus Kenny Omega where you're like, well, fuck, we gotta see what CM Punk's got because he's in the fucking main event.
Yeah, I was gonna say this seems like a logical first match back for him. He's not having to like. I mean, I heard he's been training obviously with the with the Stephen Amell with the Heels cast and stuff like that, but.
Yeah, he said he's not taking bumps right now. So
really, I mean, well, I heard that he specifically said that he wasn't going to take that suicide dive that Darby likes to do, like that torpedo shit. I'm like, I don't blame you, bro. He's like, hold up, I know I have to take a flat back and like get my body reacclimated to this whole thing, but it's not going to be that. Like, I don't know about that one, but I am excited to see where it goes. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even watch the rest of the show until it came back on at 10, just because I forgot about the Eliminator match. I think it's kind of obvious they're gonna go with Jurassic Express.
I kind of want it to be the Lucha Bros because I honestly think it's a fucking shame that
they haven't even had gold yet. Is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a shame because like a lot of people don't realize, and I'll admit this is why I feel like AEW got a little oversaturated. Is Lucha Bros seem like they're the 6th most like recognized tag team. It used to just be the Young Bucks and them. And maybe SCU. Like and
then SCU is gone now, so it's just like
so like in them. I feel like they sometimes need to. And if you were to do Lucha Bros, like, because in my opinion, Jungle Boy is 18, or he's not 18. He's not 18 anymore, but he's in his early 20s.
Yeah,
Jungle Boy has his whole entire career in front of him in terms of like what they want to do with that. Like the Lucha Bros, if for whatever reason their contract ran out, they would be the hottest free agents. So you
100%, yeah.
You got to, in my opinion, kind of like got to
strike while the iron's hot. Yeah, 100%.
And if you were to do a situation where this is the 3rd All Out, and at 2 out of the 3 All Outs has the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks, in my opinion, it would start building that behind the storyline feud where it's like they're always in a rivalry together, even if they're not always feuding with each other.
Oh, I see.
And I think that they're the day one rivalry. You could always say FTR, you could always have the Kenny and Page stuff, but like I think like the Lucha Bros Young Bucks stuff from day one.
Yeah, because I was gonna say from the first Vegas show, and then they had the ladder match as well, and then not to make it a WWE thing, but I mean it's kind of like Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys. Like they're just always destined to be like attached at the hip, even if you're not, talking about one or the other. It's like you can't help but remember because they have so many.
I don't know what the fucking Pac and Andrade shit is.
Usos in the New Day.
Yeah, 100%. That's honestly the best, most modern example of it. But let's get into SummerSlam or SummerScam, right? I mean, because they had a match that they said was off and then back on, and then they're gonna promote for it, and then this is why I call it a scam. I went to the Superstore, and they had special shirts for the event, still selling them full price, like the boss versus the best. This whole special edition shirt, and it's like y'all knew before this week that this wasn't gonna go down. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's kind of piss poor.
I get if you already made the shirt,
but we gotta get the money back. Yeah.
But it's kind of like one of those things where, like,
it's a collector's item now. The Mets.
It's a one of one
match never happened. Yeah.
That's actually pretty. That's a pretty good point. I mean, upside fans. But SummerSlam was cool. As a whole, hot take, I give it. If I'm being nice, I give it a 7 out of 10. If I'm being real, I give it a 6.5. I was glad that they didn't take away one of the main roster matches for the pre-show, and we did see Big E finally get the briefcase back, but then they fed into my emotions, and I was like, oh, he has possession of the briefcase. Is going down. I don't want to see Goldberg. I don't want to see it, but it'll be worth it so we can get some more Black excellence. You know what I mean? Like I was just thinking about it, and then I don't know. It was weird, but I was really surprised. I guess I shouldn't be surprised about the RK Bro thing. I was surprised that the match is so short, to be honest. But I will say, shout out to AJ Styles for hitting that styling DDT. He ain't never done it. Like I haven't seen him do it outside the ring since like TNA. So the fact that he actually did it, and I heard that he wasn't gonna. That was one of those moves he said he wasn't gonna do again unless for a special occasion. I was like, okay, I can take that. But I hate that they lost. I mean, I don't know what y'all finna do. I mean, I guess I felt like
I'm glad
the two times they faced the War Raiders, they could have dropped it to the War Raiders.
Bro, I do not want my AJ Styles in the tag division.
No, yeah, I do. Yeah, well, I mean, when you think about it like that, I guess that frees him up. I mean, then he can finally just do a solo thing with a heater. That's fine.
If I could be real about, since we didn't really have an opportunity to talk about Raw, I catch myself settling on Raw storylines where I'm like, you know what? At least it wasn't bad. But when it comes to RK Bro thing, I felt like Riddle had to RKO Randy Orton to earn Randy Orton's respect, since Randy Orton did that to Riddle the week prior. And then he gets him and goes, "You got my respect, kid. Well, fine, we'll do this." Because he's not just be like, "Hey, you saved me." Why would you have respect for him after he saved you? Like,
because I mean, and that makes more sense because of the fact that it's like he's showing him that he actually has a killer instinct, and instead of just him thinking he's just high all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, so you actually had the balls to like do that on me. Like, okay, kid, you got my yeah. It would have been way smoother transit. I mean, logic wise, it would have made more sense.
Has anybody ever RKO'd Randy Orton?
I'm sure it's
John Cena has. I think.
Yeah,
John Cena has.
I could see him being super traditionalist and be like, "You're not hitting me with my own move."
I'm pretty sure. I remember. No,
back
AJ Styles did it. AJ Styles did it. Remember
recently?
Like maybe a year ago. I remember the way he did it made it look like more like a diamond cutter, the way he landed, as opposed to just jumping and then like
Back in my day, we used to get suspended for being high.
He's like, he's like, you can hit it, but you ain't gonna hit it like I do it. So we're gonna make you just look like everyone else in the indies. He's like, dude, we created the cutter. Don't even trip. I got this, Randy. Like everyone does. It's like a super kick, man.
For real.
I'm trying to think what else happened. I mean, to be honest, I really just want to get to your girl in the background.
Let's just talk about it because nothing happened before then, right?
Well, okay. One thing I will bring up. I got attacked on Twitter today, and I threw some caps back. Pow, pow. I had these Alexa Bliss fans getting in their feelings for something I never said.
Oh, you should have tagged me in.
Bro, it was one of those things
how I feel about it.
Well, I looked at I was like, oh, these ones are like,
I'm going to Twitter right now. Hold on,
bro. These ones are like 18, 16. So I had a video from the show where the crowd at one point did the whole "We Want Wyatt" thing. Hey, I'm there. I'm in the middle of it, so it's like piping hot, and I could hear it from this section to this section, and I'm like, oh, I had a feeling we might get this right. So I got it on film and I posted. I put, "We want Wyatt chance breakout during the Alexa match." That's all I put. I wake up, bro, and it's like, man, maybe because you were cheering it. Like one guy's like, oh, because probably your section was cheering it. Yeah, it didn't come off on TV. Nice try. Alexa's over. What are you talking about? I'm like, bro, I never said she was. What are you talking? And it's like, I'm like, what is going on? I see all these little kids like, yeah, right. You could barely even hear that we want Wyatt chance. It sounds like they're saying we want Alexa. I'm like, it clearly doesn't. And then it's like someone chiming in, I know, for real, right? Like, she's totally over. Like, they were totally cheering for her. And I'm like, I didn't say that they weren't, because I was honestly, and I said I actually was pleasantly surprised how over she was, especially in a place like Vegas. That was crazy to me. And I was like, bro, I never said. I just letting y'all know that there's fan support for him. It's just like, yeah, why are you saying that they hijacked the show? Ain't nobody even used the word. Like, and it reminded me quickly. I'm like, oh, Twitter is such a toxic place.
Twitter, bro.
God,
yeah. First of all,
and of course,
you can't say my favorite color is blue, because what you really mean.
Wait, why you hate red?
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with red?
Exactly.
Why you gotta be so picky? You so picky.
First of all,
so
if this is what Alexa Bliss is going to be for the rest of her career, she absolutely fucking sucks. Can
I tell you my favorite part of the match?
What's up?
My favorite part of that match is when even Marie took her doll and slapped her with it. I was the only one that laughed my ass off when that happened. I
don't know if you guys saw that, but I almost slipped right now.
That was Lily. Lily's trying to put the curse on you.
Lily's trying to fuck me up.
I've had enough of this, bro.
Because I think Alexa Bliss is one of the most underrated female wrestlers in the division. I agree,
because she got better. She definitely got better from the time she got called up, but
because she's someone you have
I was gonna say, you could tell that Vince has a ceiling for her, because I think maybe her height. I don't know, but they had her beat Nia. I don't know, man.
But you could tell like she is the perfect, because the division's always going to be about the 4 horsewomen, probably Bianca.
Yeah, true.
And then
we'll figure that out.
And then maybe Asuka every once in a while, right?
Yeah. Where is Asuka?
She's on YouTube making barbecue beef.
I was gonna say she cooking for real. I ain't mad at it.
But Alexa Bliss was always that person that could be a solid transitional champion, or go into a pay-per-view as champion, or win a championship.
That breath of fresh air for
she was always like the opportunist female wrestler in the division, and she's always. But ever since, and then I actually first thought she was one of the best parts of the Bray Wyatt character. In the beginning, it wasn't bad, but then like from maybe last summer to November, I was like, I'm into this. I am into this.
Yeah.
But then when she started making it about, when the character started becoming more about her,
other shit,
I was like, and then like with the Randy Orton stuff, I was like, because keep in mind the Randy Orton fucking things happened from like November to fucking WrestleMania, so I can't say that I liked it too long.
Yeah, they kept making. I don't know. But don't upset me over it. I don't even want to discuss it anymore.
But it's absolutely one of the most garbage fucking characters that they have right now. I'd rather have her be nothing, just be an Alexa Bliss, a blonde female wrestler who occasionally loses
with the techno music and just
yeah. I'd rather have that theme hit. I don't care. That theme slaps compared to a lot of the other themes.
So, but you know what's crazy? The crowd, they were going crazy for her new song. Like, they were singing along with her and shit. Like, it was.
And that's the issue.
You know, another thing that happened is someone had a Bray. You see that Bray Wyatt sign that was out there?
No.
Someone had a screenshot of it. I can't remember what it said right away, but it got confiscated, and everybody like was booing about it because I heard it got real heated between the fan and the security, and it was just like he ended up being able to stay. But it's like, dude, like we pay for the price of admission, bro. And then they were like saying, oh, because they're not going to promote someone on their screens because I guess he had a prominent seat because they ended up on camera. So that's why they got mad about it. So they're like, we're not going to promote someone that's not part of the company. I'm like, oh, okay. But during that main event, someone had a big ass pink ass Kenny King sign. I don't know if y'all saw that. And I was like, yo, I know Kenny King lives in Vegas. I'm like, that must be him and his friends down there doing that on purpose. That's the only thing I could think. I was like, I don't know anyone that's that big supporters of Kenny King that's going to be like, I'll spend all this money to SummerSlam so I could put over my boy. Yeah, exactly.
They take signs all the time though. Every time I go to a show, I see them take at least probably like 10 signs in like the first 20 minutes.
I got a sidebar about that.
It's a risk if you make a sign and you got
depending on
position, it's a risk you take. You know what I'm saying?
But see, okay, when I did security at Honda Center and they showed up one night, someone in the upper row had a sign, something about the click, right? Mind you, they're still selling like merchandise and monetizing off the click stuff, like in the shop at the time. They told me to go up there and tell them to hand them over. And I had to go all the way up there, take the elevator. I'm like, sorry, they want me to take. I'm like, dude, it's not me. I don't give a shit. I was like, I love the click personally.
I love the click.
I was like, they're my dudes. They got me into this whole thing.
T-Sweet him? Like, I need to say that.
It's like, I'm sorry, dude. It's the best I could do. T-Sweet. Yeah, all right, man. No hard feelings. Cool. And touch tip. All right, cool. Like but yeah, let's get into the main thing, bro, because there was a lot of rumors going into the Sasha Banks Bianca thing. I personally had heard that the match was off, even though they were continuously promoting for it on Raw, as if it was still going on. I saw it even throughout the week that, that wasn't on like a special, or I should say specific wrestling program. Like I would see like just watching something else on a different channel. I would see a SummerSlam commercial, still promote for it. And then NXT, same thing. Freaking SmackDown comes Friday, day before, they're still promoting for it. But by then we hear that it's supposedly back on. Before they just said that there was unforeseen circumstances. That's all they said. But it made it seem like there was something to do with both women, right? But they said it's back on earlier in the day, and then like as we get closer in the day, then it's like it looks like maybe it's only Bianca that's here because it doesn't look like Sasha's even here. And then a photo went out that she was in Vegas with Bayley and Samurai Del Sol, formerly Kalisto, at some restaurant. So they were here. They just, you know what I mean? The only thing I could think of, I'm not trying to spread rumors. I don't know if it's something that's like health related. A lot of people think it might be COVID. I mean, the only thing I was going to say about that is she's very vocal about her anti-masking stuff. Sasha. If it's not that, I also could see it being something as simple as her not wanting to wear a mask because it 100% was mandatory for everybody at the arena. So I don't know. It was a weird thing. But from there, we were trying to figure out what was going to happen. I think I was texting you guys about this around this time in the group chat. And then we hear Carmella's music, and I was like, oh, hell. So it's SmackDown Light. You know what I mean?
So
everybody, I'm sorry, but the amount of, I don't know how it came out on TV. The amount of people booing the shit out of Carmella was insane. It was like, I felt bad, but it was like, we don't want you. We just saw this at Rolling Loud. We don't, and they didn't like it.
So when I first heard Carmella's music, when I was watching it, I was like, okay, either A, it's not going to be Carmella, or B, this is going to absolutely suck. And not only did it, not only was I both right, but the WWE never, and it's one of those things where like, right, especially after the CM Punk thing, we were just like, all right, now I gotta watch SummerSlam, and they fucking WWE, like the WWE is gonna WWE.
Oh my god, bro! Why?
And I was like, all right. And
I felt it was at that point. I was like, it was funny. I was like thinking, man, I sure got that 7 points pretty easy against y'all 1-1.
All right. I was thinking that too.
I was like, I needed a jump. I needed something, man.
I was about to text like, hey, is this a wash? Because it's not.
Yeah, right. I was like, well, this isn't the original. Because had I known, right, it's like I think we all still would have picked.
Oh my god,
freaking Bianca, had we known if it was Carmella, right? And then, and then Becky returns. And the thing is, I was talking to my buddy of mine. I was like, Becky's coming back. He's like, why do you think that? I'm like, because they need something, with all the hype that AEW just, landed last night. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't think Sasha's going to make it. And he was like, we'll see. He's up in the air. I'm like, but if she doesn't make it, then who else? They don't have anybody else. I'm like, who else could, possibly, I mean, the only other, I think someone, he was saying maybe possibly Toni Storm, because she just debuted on SmackDown. So I'm like, oh, that wouldn't have been a total loss. I mean, people would have been excited to see her, but people they came out to see that specific match.
It's a smart crowd too. Like they probably, like the casual wouldn't be, but like the smart crowd would have popped if it was like Io Shirai or something.
Yeah, that would be actually really cool.
Like I think really if you just brought up an NXT person that day to have
just for the sake of the champion,
put on a 10-minute, little banger and then get them out of there.
They let them do an NXT style version of it.
Yeah, but like if you you got to call an audible. Sasha can't get down for whatever reason. Hopefully she good. But if you got to call an audible, and you got Becky, I don't know if I pull the Becky lever in this situation. Like I would save that. I would put like, Sasha can't get down, so Bianca comes out, and even if they pull the Becky lever, let them have like how the way that people reacted, they were like, when she was like, what do you say we blow the roof off the place? And everybody was like, so at that point, you're like, shit, it's about to be a good match.
Oh, we're about to get at least 15 minutes of
the way, dude, you don't understand,
when that happens,
bro.
If they let them get down and you say like, oh, but we don't want to waste this match on something without a build up. So then don't, but let them get down and let it look 9 minutes in. Let Zelina and Carmella run in and interfere
right? And because I even said I was like, I could see if maybe for whatever reason, I don't know who she was going to face, but I was like, maybe she doesn't have an opponent and she's about to cut a promo about it, and then Carmella and Zelina get on her, and then Becky makes the return saving her, but not necessarily trying to team up with her, but like
anything.
I'm back, but not, it still would have been effective, but not necessarily like what we saw. Because trust me, bro, everybody had their cameras out. Everybody was filming. Huge pop, right? Huge pop. And then they said, we're going to blow the roof off this place. We're like, oh, man. The bell rings and everybody's like, all right, cool. Everyone's like kind of like looking at their phones. They're like kind of excited. They're posting their stuff. And then all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3. Yo, what the fuck just happened? Nobody saw it, bro. Everyone was like, dude, she just cheap shotted her. We're like, wait, what? And then when I saw the preview, I'm like, or the replay, I was like, did she smack her and then got her with the rock bottom?
Yeah, I was like, was that a pump handle slam? Like,
no, you were in the building, so you didn't hear
the manhandle slam.
It's called the manhandle slam.
Yeah, I remember she called it that back before, but it was like the whole time I was like, word? This is what we doing?
Oh, okay. So all of a sudden,
like, dude, and that crowd, as much as they loved seeing her come back, they slowly started like, that was
so
bullshit.
Now you just ruined. Now you pulled the
dog,
Becky.
The air was sucked out that arena, bro. It was.
But now you put us in a position where most people are going to be mad at Becky now. So it's taking.
I was wondering if that was
it's going to take the wind out of her comeback a little bit.
True, yeah.
And then it takes the wind out of the sails of the champion that you've been building for the last 200 days.
Yeah, they Kofi'd her for no reason.
So I'll be honest. Like, I'm not like entirely on the Bianca train, and that's only because I'm not entirely on the women's division train, because the women's division's been booked very poorly.
No, I
just don't have any faith that it's gonna go well. This is proof. This is how because I remember when she's like, let's blow the roof off this place, and they're about to get the little face to face. My first thought was like, Becky's not gonna lose though. And then I was like, do we want Bianca to lose? And then I was like, I guess if they have a classic match and then Bianca and then Lynch wins, and people won't be as upset. But Lynch is now flirting, because I don't think a lot of people realize people are getting a little bored of Lynch before she left, and I don't know if a lot of people
was. She kind of like exited right at the right. I'm not like the right time before they started.
And now she's becoming one of like the WWE guys where you're just like, okay, this like we like it. We like her over Charlotte, of course.
Yeah.
But I was about to say Becky becoming Charlotte, bro.
And the thing I was thinking about was maybe because of the fact that they don't have Sasha and they don't have Bayley, who's injured, meaning they don't have a top heel, even though they already have. I don't know who's. I feel like Bianca's their only face on the women's division right now. Like, it just makes no sense. I guess Toni Storm. Oh, Toni Storm, Tegan, and fucking Shotzi, but they're not even.
We haven't seen them.
Yeah, exactly. They're
dope?
They're chasing tag team gold that nobody's like paying attention to. But I was just gonna say, like, I could
might as well have a Gucci belt on. Nobody wants those.
Yeah, just get a big ass belt buckle on it and just rock it like a regular leather belt.
Those are the titles that you see on 2K that are vacant that you could earn later.
Yeah. You just
and you're just like, I'm all right. I'd rather.
But it's like, I could see if maybe they did it this way to have the fans reject her, to try to position her in a heel
as a heel.
I don't think that's.
But I don't think so. But
I think Vince really thought this is what people wanted.
I don't know. I mean, because when you say that people were getting tired of it, I mean, if she's doing it this way,
that we were like, all right, that's enough.
She was one Claymore away from Drew McIntyre territory, right? Like, yeah, right. For real. Like, that's why I say, like, it worked out that she disappeared around the time she did.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why. I thought for sure she would probably come back in the Raw Women's Division match or Women's Division match, because that's the last belt she held before she had to give it to Asuka, pretty much.
So there's 100 scenarios on how this could have been handled better, but based on what we had in that moment, is either A, just have Bianca fucking squash, like she has the 30-second win against Carmella, and then Becky Lynch's music hits, and then they have a face-to-face, and then
the way Roman and their match,
right? And then maybe they won't do that twice, but the WWE's done the same storyline in the same day.
Yeah, well, Zelina and what's her name breaking up the match makes some perfect sense too, because of the fact that Zelina gets the first crack at who the champ is after this. She's like, I don't want to fucking face Becky Lynch.
Check it out. You know what would have been dope if not Zelina and them. So if Bianca is like walking around in the ring, like, yo, so I'm just out here for nothing. Like, why y'all could have told me backstage that?
Yeah, why y'all let me walk around with my ring gear all day?
Yeah. And so once she's trying to figure out like what's going on, she can cop an attitude, like I'm whooping somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then yeah.
Oh, Naomi, that would have been good.
Lights go out, glow. It's a good pop because everybody always pops for Naomi, no matter what, if she has.
And she ain't been seen in a while.
I don't.
I mean, she wouldn't have been able to slide on that ramp the way they had to curve around like that. But
imagine
she slides and hits the wall.
She got like Heelys on,
and then also
she's all good.
Becky Lynch's music hits.
She's like, excuse me, I got places to go.
But then that's somebody that she could beat.
Respectfully,
in like 7 minutes, respectfully, and we could just move on with our lives. You know what I'm saying?
No, because we, like you said, even if it was somebody from or maybe it was you, Brian, if it was like like a Io Shirai just for the night, yeah, people would have popped for that. I mean, it would have given it still would have given them a moment to talk about,
bro.
Without necessarily throwing all your ammo up, like bro, they hot shot it like a motherfucker last night. But
so what else I would have done if you really wanted to do it this way is just have it be a triple threat with Carmella there, and then Becky Lynch throws Bianca out of the ring, and let's just say she hits the stairs on the way down or something, so she has to hold her knee for a second, right? And then Becky Lynch squashes Carmella, and that's how Bianca loses her title.
Anything.
So Bianca could be like, I never lost. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And then
she was not even scheduled for this match.
Like, I had to face two people. I went from facing Sasha to two people.
Any type of messy finish would have been better.
And by the way, nothing we pitched is a reach. Nothing we pitched thus far has been a reach.
Yeah, we haven't said like, well, what you could have done is have Stone Cold Steve Austin go out there,
come out there, and
Stunner,
like, well, hell,
then Becky Lynch comes out,
you're a champion, has a beer. Are you really the man? And then the man's music hits some stupid.
And Brock Lesnar F5s her, and
then
So you telling me the same girl who had Dewdrop, Otis on her back.
Yeah. Yep.
She can't take a forearm shiver, bro.
At least do a surprise schoolboy that's getting at least everybody in the 24/7 division fucked up.
I think the other thing too is like we've been getting news that Becky's been training, right? And that's the word was she was going to be coming back for October, which I'll get into that.
She wrestled like she was still pregnant out there.
But I was going to say like she barely did. I was like, do you think it was weird that she kind of barely did anything? She threw Carmella out of the ring and then into the stairs, and then it was like a backhand. And then the pump handles or the rock bottom, whatever, it's like
the man bottom.
Yeah, now she's champion. Bottom, She's gonna have to have a real match.
It's so that's what I was thinking. It's so weird.
Man bottom.
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw that they're gonna be doing the Extreme Rules coming up too. Yeah. But I was wondering, I'm like, well, what are they doing for October? Because they already did Hell in a Cell, and I guess they're going back to Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewel. But okay, so check this out. Tell me if this is just an idiot that doesn't know shit. They're planning on supposedly doing a Queen of the Ring tournament, right? Fine. That's cool. Even though I'd rather the men get their shot again, but whatever. Supposedly the finals of that Queen of the Ring is at the freaking Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, we're gonna see some of our females wearing t-shirts, very long t-shirts.
Yes, that was my face exactly, Mac. I was like, but they know what happened last time. Like, why would no one? They're not going to cheer for that. And that's just not what they cheer for.
You're gonna have the finals of the first ever women's Queen of the Ring in a place that doesn't want to see that shit.
That was not going to be appreciated or like barely permitted, right? Like barely tolerated.
Like, Queen. What is a queen?
We're gonna be seeing two wrestlers in 4X Pro Clubs just like getting down in Saudi Arabia.
Oh my god!
And we're gonna be like, this is not what we had in mind. Like,
no, they got the pro clubs and took them to the mall to get the 1 hour freaking screen. Oh man, yeah. I had to ask y'all about that because I heard about that. I was like, wait, what? They're like, oh yeah, you ain't seen the upcoming pay-per-view schedule? I'm like, nah, bro.
Who's it gonna be then? Because I know.
Oh, the rumor was it was supposed to be going down between I think Sasha and Bianca
in the final.
Sasha winning. This is before.
So you're gonna do Black Queens of the Ring.
I think they can't. They're like, oh, we can't tell them no.
Them dudes. That first.
It's gonna look a certain way if we say something about them.
Their heads are gonna explode.
Yeah, they're like, no one's talked back to us like this before. This is insane. Oh man, yeah, but I guess best entrance of the night, right? I'd argue best match as well. Shout out to Edge.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw the Brew theme on SmackDown. I didn't watch SmackDown, but I saw.
Oh, you talking about the Ingblot shower or the brood bath instead of the blood bath? I was like, all right.
When Edge came out to the Brew theme, I was like, I'm gonna lose my fucking $2 championship right now. I fucking lost it. It's done.
Just because like that was kind of a cool swerve just because he was like, you're making me go back to the dark side of my heart or whatever. And I'm like, oh, he's going back to the Extreme Opportunist, the rated R shit, right? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot you were kind of technically burning it down before he was. Like, I just put it out of my mind. Like,
you know what?
I kind of wish he just did the Brew theme in its entirety, and then for like this match he had to be like Brood Edge. And then
dude had the shades on and everything.
No, but I was gonna say it to touch back on the CM Punk thing. It was a similar vibe. Like when the Brood music hit for me, because I remember that. You know what I'm saying? So when that hit, I was like, oh, and I always thought that beat was hard.
I still think it's hard.
It's like, oh, what are we mobbing to though? Yeah, we're like, yo, I just want to roll around with this. Like,
I always thought that beat was hard. So when it came on and the fire hit and then he came up the ground, I was already hyped. And then for me, anytime I see somebody like get hyped too, it makes me more hyped. So then he came out 100%, and then he comes down,
and it translated 100% that way.
And he let it fall, and I was like, "This is perfect." He let it fall. Yeah. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is cool. This is cool." Then the music drops, and then he cranks it back up with his original song, and so it gets like the ebb and flow of that moment was put together very well.
He did it really good, and it was this is how we knew something was up, because I was like, yo, this Seth Rollins entrance is hella long. And we noticed it just kept putting him on the screen. And then my buddy, because we happened to be sitting like we were behind like directly behind the entranceway, but like high up. So we were able to still get a vantage point. And we just saw these guys just start pushing this huge box right in the front. We're like, what the fuck's going on? And then like we were like sitting up there puzzled, like we see him, load up this small ramp for him to walk down to like actually get off the little display and shit. We're just sitting there looking, then we see a small box that pops open and it's a hatch in the middle. We're like, oh shit, he's about to do the Brood shit. And we didn't think, we're like, or what do you think he's about to do? We're watching. If you get a chance, I actually posted the video of them like getting the shit together, us just waiting for 3 minutes, like what is about to happen? And then seeing like that fire blow up, we're like, yo, this is dope. This is dope as hell. He went back to the old like black and red color scheme as well.
He just needed to be drinking some shit, dude.
If he
like,
just had,
dude, yeah. He's like, it's cranberry juice, I swear.
He should have been like, Montez, give me your cup.
I need.
And then he just comes out with the red solo.
Give me your cup.
It's like, fuck, I didn't bring my cup. And he's like, all right. And then like, Montez like, I got
wait
you.
Wait a minute. He starts looking for what's her name?
What is that?
Fucking who the fuck bit Becky's neck?
Shayna.
Shayna is like, was that a blood packet or was that for real? I need that blood packet if you have it. I need it. Fucking the only person
she's all super into kayfabe. It was for real, man.
It was for real. It was like, so we don't fuck around. This is raw, bro.
That was real, dude.
I know it's been a while, old man, but we do shit for real here. Like, one take that shit too. You know what I mean? We can't go back. Can't do it twice. You can only bite one part of the neck. Oh man.
I was in the UFC. This is real.
This is so real, so sincere. Now I did enjoy the match with him and Seth. The first 5 minutes, I was like, oh man, this is getting into Seth Rollins, Triple H territory from WrestleMania 31. But they started picking it up. I was surprised. I was like, why is Seth like he's insistent on trying to get this pedigree off though? I'm like, he ain't done it in so long. I don't know why he's making a point to try to pull it out now, but I was like,
it's
maybe because he was just trying
to try to pull off too.
Oh, it takes forever, bro. When I was little, when we were used to wrestle at like recess and stuff, I used to hate people that want to do the pedigree. Like, get off me, dog.
You know what's funny about that? And then you get older, you're like, oh shit, finishers only happen when there's a give and take ratio here,
bro. People used to like, and then the dude,
you have to let them hook your arms and then trust that they won't they'll actually let you go.
And shout out to people who didn't know to let go of your arms before we come down.
Dude, that's scary shit to me. Like, hey, I'm just gonna
right on your back.
I'm just gonna jump on my face with my hands behind my back to not even. Hopefully, I won't get hurt.
I'm not selling that.
Hopefully, I ain't got a Triple H ass nose, so it's definitely broken after that. Like, damn.
I'm not doing
but
I think the pedigree should only be used by Seth when he's already hit a stomp, someone kicked out, and then the guy's slowly getting up, and he kicks
and he went for the Phoenix
real quick,
splash
hooks
again,
it in, and does it real fast instead of
that's true
building it. It's just like,
I mean, the way he did it, this where he kind of did a counter, I thought that was cool. So it wasn't like the kind of way he usually does it, where we would have been making fun of him.
Most underhook moves are slow and like goofy, like
because the only time it was like not Ahmed Johnson back in the day with
you know what move I used to hate because you can't do it fast. Like there's no such thing as the unprettier out of nowhere.
Oh, it's dude, because you have to, and then you're like, hold on, inching. If I can just get all the way around, I caught. Yeah, it's like I hated that because it's like this is your finish and it's entirely by chance.
It's like a 45-second finish.
Yeah, it's like what's up with this?
No wonder you got over, Christian.
I could just get this full spin. Like, it's so crazy. He went for that too. I mean, I didn't realize he was going to keep using the crossface in his arsenal, but we got the tap out loss, which I thought that was kind of significant. I enjoyed the match. We got to talk about the last two. I mean, Goldberg and Bobby.
So is this feud gonna happen? Wait, is this feud gonna continue?
I hope not. But then,
he's
okay. So, dude, the crowd popped so huge for him. He's like, I just know what he could have known. That was his son.
Everybody
could have been anyone that would have attacked him from behind.
Yeah.
Hey, but he played it off good because he literally just threw him around.
Yeah, he was like, "Who the fuck is this dude? I'm about to just cry, dude. Do you not know I'm in kill mode? Like for real? Like, I don't know. Like, okay, the only thing I thought about with this is I believe it's either 3 or 4 of his last fights he's lost. What's his name? Goldberg, which I don't give a fuck. But I'm guessing that's the only reason why they went this route with this, because they're like, well, you're not going to win the title He's like, well, I don't want to lose again. And he's like, well, all right, we'll just have you just not be fit to fight.
Remember when he first started, he had like 173 wins. So in the words of my friend Thanos, perfectly balanced is all things should be.
Endgame was just on last night too, man. I ain't gonna lie. But you just, I don't know. It was a weird ending. I was like, it doesn't necessarily protect him, but it still makes Bobby look good, right? Like,
well, it's like our whole thing about Goldberg is that he can't go anymore.
No.
And the fact that his match would end with him holding his hammy.
Yeah, that was a long ass match for him, wasn't it?
We're just like, how is that putting him over more than him just taking a clean win from? Because Bobby Lashley's a dangerous wrestler. He could get a clean win on an old Goldberg.
The imagery, I think, is what they thought was going to be the most effective. Is like, oh, he incapacitated Goldberg. Right? We've never seen Goldberg not be able to continue a fight. I get that, but no one is thinking that and taking that as a way as much of a bigger deal as it would have been for him to just finally just get rid of his old ass. So, you know,
and Bobby Lashley has a finisher that protects wrestlers by passing them out.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking
just let him pass out.
I mean, the fact that they didn't even do like the whole battle of the spear thing, even though he brought up you live by the spear and die by the spear.
He hit him with 2 chop blocks that look spear.
First of all, those spears are like just him like, hey, are you going in the kitchen? Oops, I tripped. Oh, I'm gonna fall on top of you. Like, bro, like I was like, he's not getting no types of full speed, like sprinting in action.
My favorite part of the match is after Bobby killed the little white boy.
Yes.
Goldberg crawling to his son. The way he was crawling, he was crawling. He was crawling like he was crawling like Rick James after Charlie Murphy and them.
He was. No, see, the one thing we were laughing at was like. We're like, look at Goldberg. He doesn't know how to sell. He's never the one thing he's never mastered is how to sell because he was overboard. He was just like, my knee, like just like, And
then the ref was like, hey, she can't go. And he's like, no, I don't think so. Like every wrestler I've ever seen in my life has been like, no, I'm good. Yeah, I need to sell.
He's like, you know what? I didn't realize how almighty he really was until
I didn't know what he said when he asked him. I heard him say something, and I was like, wait, what did he say?
I know I know you kept yelling that he was gonna kill.
He was like, I'm not going to be able to, or something he said.
My dad pulled his hamstring, so I'm going to go run in there and be an ass. Like, it's not like he was beating the fuck out of him. Or
you know, them chair shots to the kneecaps. He was like, not my dad's knees.
See, when that happened, I thought that Big E was going to come out to save Goldberg.
Hell no, that would have been a waste.
Hell no.
No. Well, I mean, again, like if you know his affinity for him, people would cheer for it. But what I wanted it to happen, no.
Hell no.
But the fact that he was beating his ass longer than almost the match was, I was like, yo, what is going on? Is someone coming out to save this dude? Oh, there's his son. There goes his son.
Nobody likes Goldberg.
So he beat the shit out of his legs.
So I was listening to another podcast.
He did get cheered significantly while he was there.
I was listening to another podcast, and I guess they're talking about something Meltzer said. And I guess Goldberg lives in San Antonio now. And Meltzer was like, why the fuck does he live in San Antonio when he used to live in San Diego? Why would you move to San Antonio if you once lived? And he's like, money's not an issue. Like, why would you move from San Diego, California to Texas? And then they just figured it's because maybe he likes shooting guns or something.
I mean, I'm thinking I know that there was like less restrictions mask wise and mandate.
Imagine moving states because you're like, I don't feel like wearing a mask.
Bro, no, I have a lot of friends that did that. That and the fact that they needed work and also what's the other? The cost of living was cheaper over there.
I've applied for jobs in Texas, but it wasn't because I wanted to move there. It's just because I thought an opportunity would be there, but not because I wanted. I wasn't. I mean, I don't wake up every day like, all right, let me find something in Texas.
The minimum wage is cheap as fuck too down there.
He moved down to the old Broken Skull Ranch.
I'd do it.
I feel
do it in a heartbeat. I'm like, you just got to feed me Steve Weiser, Steve.
I'm not very comfortable around white people, so I feel like I'm too culturally woke to go to Texas.
No, that would hate you because, like, it's funny. One of the things that somebody hated. I put a poll up. I was like, so top notch Stone Cold impressions or no? That was like yes or no, and it was like one yes and one no. I'm like, who the fuck said no? And I saw it. I'm like, hey, I know you, bro. Okay, noted. Those were good. Those were great.
Goldberg, you got in trouble there, Goldberg. You took out your kneecaps.
Wham!
Then he choked out your son. Now, what was going through your mind?
He went ass, and then it's right there. You see, you almost killed Bobby. He went ass over tea kettle right there.
So that son of a bitch got you in the leg, and then your son came in, and you want to kill him. Like, there was no rematch.
Nice sell, long sell, but you're getting the most out of it. It's like, nah, it's not what's going on, Steve.
So right here they got you in the kneecap, but let's take it back 20 years.
So when your kneecap wasn't busted, when we were on the set of
So when he hit you with that cattle prod, what was going through your mind there?
Oh man,
that was a fucking great sell.
It's like it took a cattle prod to beat you, but now it's just your old age, and
now he hits you with a. Now
he's like Charlie Horse. Charlie Horse
hits you with a church.
Hey Bobby,
folding chair.
So Bobby, how do you feel that Brock Lesnar came out to look at Roman Reigns instead of you?
We've seen the whole time. I told my buddy too. I was like, yo, if Brock shows up after we got Goldberg, I'm gonna be fucking hot. I'm like, because that only tells me that he doesn't want to work Bobby, and I'm like, and I couldn't understand why. Like, the money's there. Like, people want to see that shit, but he only wants. I'm like, wait, you don't trust Bobby? I'm like, y'all both come from the same.
Brock Lesnar could win, and we would all be like, at least we did. At least
we got it. Yeah. Like, I mean, as long as it's not like, freaking. You know what? He's probably like shell shocked. He's like, nah. No, I ain't doing WrestleMania 12. He's like, I'm not doing it again. Me and Goldberg. No, it's not Goldberg. It's Bobby Lashley. No, we can't do it. Two hams going at it. No, they don't like that. They curse you out. I got to go back to the Vikings. Are they open? Football's coming up. I'm going crazy. Like, oh man. But I did like the last match.
It was good. It was good. I gotta admit, John Cena's wardrobe was pretty good.
Oh, never mind.
Bro, thank you.
I thought you were gonna agree with me. Agree with me.
Black shirt.
I was like, what is up with his obsession with Mario?
No, that I don't care what's on it. I'm just glad it's not the same color as a Fruit Loop box.
I don't like that it's a colorful thing, and I don't like that just a picture of him holding the never give up sign in his
it's just like it's like a different pose of him.
I thought it was like, I think it's not that I like it, it's more so I like that it was different, like how Max said.
The shirt, yeah. I mean, shirt, I think some of his best shirts are his black ones. So to be honest, yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense.
I'm never gonna wear orange.
It was just weird because all the Titantrons had that Mario thing, like this graphic that was moving, where he's flying, like, he looks like the Mario with the squirrel, but he's like, just like, and then all of a sudden his hand just like goes like this in front of his face, and then you realize you can't even buy the shirt. Because it's part of $1,000 NFT. That's how you get the shirt.
Oh, well,
it's exclusive.
Then. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, that is kind of trash. Like that, y'all.
Also, New Day did the 8-bit version video game thing before it.
I like how we totally skipped over.
Give it to I have to shout out TJP. TJP did it for a while when he was doing that. I mean, his theme song sounded like
he was
a video
whole
game.
ass video game character.
Yeah, so I do remember that. But yeah, when you got the up, down, down, for sure. You know what I mean? By the way, we could have went 100% without that Miz and Morrison segment. That was stupid as fuck. Like, we didn't understand.
I feel like John Cena was like not in catering or where in his locker room. They're like, where the fuck is John? All right, we should send these two fucks out there.
Nah, you know what it was? They spent.
Miz could talk. He can fill in some time.
Yeah.
Just tell him how long we need him to talk.
They spent like 20% of hair and makeup wardrobe red on slicking down Xavier Woods' hair so he could look like the bad guy.
Okay, so
they was like, look, we did all this work. You're gonna have to go out there and let people see it.
So the Superstore, they had that Wolfpack shirt, that little logo, the NWO logo he had on. I remember like walking by it, I'm like, yo, I never seen this shirt. When they come out with this shirt? And it just says, New Day Rocks with the same writing, except it's red with black. And I was like, I ain't never seen them come out with this shirt. They would have made a big deal about it because they always make a big deal about the NWO. And then the next day, I'm like, oh, okay, because that's how he was going to premiere it, with a backpack full of water. Cool.
But where was Kofi?
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, why wasn't, like, Kofi wasn't there? And I know he was there because some people that I know, like Mega Ran, a lot of black indie wrestler like Chris Bay, Chris Bay, Ice Williams, Kofi, Xavier, Mega Ran, all these fools were kicking it together because they were at the Phoenix taping for SmackDown. And they live out of Phoenix. So I thought they was all fitting to be here, especially if Xavier was out here. And it's like,
and I'm thinking if you're doing an NWO thing and you are also in a trio, wouldn't
you
save that gear for when you off the ticket?
Yeah, that's the thing for me. I was like, it didn't make sense because Scott Hall has never been to SummerSlam. Razor has, but no, that's not who you are. And then it's like, yeah, why would? And then I am a very biased Scott Hall fan. So for him to try to do the survey, I was like, oh no, you lost points for me.
But we're acting like the WWE's never.
I love you,
Xavier.
Xavier. Before any other day but today.
So like, is this the first time the WWE's wasted our time? I don't know.
No,
it was a long waste. Like he knew it wasn't going anywhere when the segment started.
By the way, I did love how they dressed Heyman in his own little lay as well for how they had that. I was like, this is a dope visual for sure.
Heyman cowering in the corner. He'd be really.
I'm not gonna lie. I love how Brock Lesnar looks though. I don't know if we're getting to that.
I was so surprised because we jumped him
I like the shit ponytail. I like the wife beater. Well, I guess
he had the Billy Gunn, the little Billy Gunn ponytail up top. You know,
the beard. He just looked like he's like, you know what? I used to look like an ass, so I can't look like an ass now.
I was gonna tell you. I was laughing about it. I'm like, it's funny how as a heel he's a baby face because he has no hair, and then usually what you do to be a heel, which is like do something drastic to your hair and grow a beard. I'm like, now he's a face.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I guess that was the other thing too. I noticed. I'm like, so we had two big returns, but they're both SmackDown exclusive, right? I mean, unless Brock disappears and doesn't come back till after Saudi. Or maybe maybe he's gonna show up at because everybody thought because I don't know if you saw when the show went off the air, he ended up fucking German suplexing John Cena and hit him with the F5. So a lot of people think they're setting up for a triple threat at the Saudi show.
I don't think John Cena is going to do the Saudi show. Remember when he was against it a couple years ago?
Yeah, wasn't he very vocal about it too?
Or I don't think John Cena would do it.
He's like, it interferes with my American beliefs.
Do you think Brock is going to wrestle in jeans and church shoes for the whole duration of this?
Probably not. Let's hope not.
He's dressed like a youth pastor at a church picnic.
No, he's like he dresses like a dude that used to get in trouble a lot, and then he's like
trying to help.
He's the head of the outreach program. Like I used to be just like you.
Victory
now
outreach.
Look at me now. Ponytail, beard, my own merch. Sometimes. That's another thing too. I was like, oh, I forgot they don't have no merch for Brock, so he can't premiere nothing new. Because he shows up in his shirt and some sweats. I was like, they ain't got shit. Oh, man.
I'm intrigued to see how the Paul Heyman stuff works out. If they don't go with the Paul Heyman thing at all in this feud, the feud was a waste, and he shouldn't have debuted against Bobby.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's a little early. I felt like them doing Becky and Brock was too much. Again, because if they weren't going to have him face Bobby. Yeah. No, 100%. By the end of the night, they needed
it was only a 6.5 or 7. They needed all
you're right.
They could get.
I guess I was like, man, they just brought John back on Money in the Bank, and then they just kind of pulled the same thing.
I saw a graphic. It was custody of Paul Heyman.
I like that. I like
that. Are the TV ratings out for SmackDown and Rampage?
No, it's Mondays. I found out that we don't see them, which I was like, man, because I really want to see.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, because I feel like they at the least they probably hit a 9 something. But I would be surprised if they didn't hit 1 million. I mean, you have to argue this is probably one of the most anticipated not only moments, but I mean, because we weren't for sure what it was going to be, but you had enough people interested and interest in so many people that it was like that's all everybody was buzzing about. You know what I mean? So. I'm definitely interested and excited to see how that turned out for them. I mean, their highest was a 1.4. That was their debut episode. So, man, if they could top that with the new show in their second week, that's kind of big, man. I know when
bar is going to be high though, because
100%. But then again,
SmackDown hasn't been killing it.
There's
but I mean, if the ratings are high because of the CM Punk situation, and then next week. It's like, all right, CM Punk's only going to be on.
Well, I think he's coming
Dynamite.
on Wednesday. He's going to be, true. Yeah, it'd be different if he's like regularly on Rampage.
Yeah,
right?
I think Rampage is going to be like their secondary.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I do like their format. I mean, I can digest an hour. Like it's funny. I told my brother, I'm like, they low key stole the NXT model. They went back to the original NXT model, and they're like, hey, this works.
They do.
Three big matches and fill the rest with segments. Who would have thought? Like, yeah,
like especially if you use Rampage as Like, all right, like for example, All Out's coming out, but let's just say there's a match on there that you don't feel like is All Out worthy, but it's still big enough and you've been building toward it. It's perfect to main event Rampage. Like you could build something on Dynamite and have it conclude on Rampage. It's perfect because you can make it where it's like we're gonna have a special main event and then probably two, builder matches. I don't know what the fuck builder
and the fact
matches,
that they're not exclusive rosters per show. Where you only have one show to progress anything. It's like whatever you miss or don't get to on Wednesday, you can get to it within that 1 hour. Even if it's like just showing like a pre-tape or something, they can get to it. But yeah, man, that was the big news coming out this weekend, man. Obviously we still have TakeOver 36 is going to be going down. Actually probably about another hour.
So the only thing about TakeOver that I'm looking for is if there's going to be any signs that Adam Cole's done.
I really he's gonna put his boots in the middle of the ring.
He's gonna put the homie over before he gets up out of there.
I mean, technically though, like his homie should not even be there if they got rid of Fish. I mean, he's kind of like in the same boat. I mean, he's not 40, but he's definitely in his 30s. He's definitely over 30. You know what I mean?
And I definitely don't care about him if they're not in black and yellow.
I mean, I don't care about him now. Like I only, like I said, and it's just me. That's just my opinion. I'm not Kyle O'Reilly, the world champion guy. He's a tremendous tag team wrestler. I'm by default a tag team fan because I am a twin. So that's just what it is. So when I appreciate a well-oiled machine, hey man, that's just where you at. I mean, as soon as I saw that they tried to separate him and Bobby Fish, I'm like, well, Fish ain't gonna be doing nothing too soon, So
once he started dressing like Spider-Punk,
My
take on the whole thing, to be honest, was just because Adam Cole super kicked fucking Kyle O'Reilly doesn't mean everyone had to stop hanging out.
It could have been like, what the hell was that, dude, or something. I don't know. You could have
had 2 to 3 months of like people still having Kyle O'Reilly's back, or one of them turns in, and it's
you could have done Adam and Roddy versus Bobby and Kyle.
They should have just had a beer and talked it over. They should have just went.
Yeah, how many times have they done like those vignettes, right?
They should have just sat down with Stone Cold Steve Austin and hashed it all out.
Yeah, it's just Stone Cold's like,
no, Steve.
Right, so
Adam, the best in the world.
Adam, we'll get to you, but Kyle.
Well, God,
so you got super kicked in the face.
I'm trying to interview you. All you keep doing is cutting promos, kid. Damn.
Super kick to the face on the announce table. Talk to me. What happened there?
Talk to me. Hello, hold on. Here it comes. Wham. I don't know where good sale.
So then that sick son of a bitch super kicks you in the face. What's going through your mind?
What's going through your mind as you take that foot to the face? It's like, oh, thanks, Steve. I didn't want to have to.
So you think it was going to be easy, did you?
So this is the end of Undisputed Era, and then they don't give you a contract. What the fuck's going on?
Son,
tell me what's going on, Adam.
That's privileged information, Steve. Oh, hell, I thought I'd try. Hey, I'm a journalist now. That's what I do. I did some research on you this week. Wikipedia and YouTube.
Back in my day, someone super kicked me in the face, and my contract was running out. I'd say something in advance. Why didn't you say something in advance?
Back in my day, we called it taking your ball and going home with it. But hell, what do I know? I just sold. I just carried this company for years, but whatever.
So you're saying beer gives you a beer gut? Is that why you don't drink? I drink all the time.
I think if you drank beer, you might get a little bit of extra weight on you, Cole. I don't know. I'm just against my like. You may try it. I don't know. No, the only thing I'm looking forward to is obviously Samoa Joe. I can honestly care less about this 2 out of 3 falls match. We've seen it twice, and the other one didn't even count technically because it was unsanctioned. And the fact that they did unsanctioned first and then the regular match second, I'm like,
that's very weird.
Y'all been watching AEW too much. But the only other thing that caught my eye really is Dakota versus Raquel, because that face-off they had was pretty good. It kind of sold me on it. Is Swerve and what's his name? Santos supposed to be fighting, or?
I don't think so.
They've been beating each other up for like 4 months. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, no, it's been.
I'll look it up right now.
I was like, I know that has to be another match, but I know that. Cameron Grimes and the whole. They're kind of just running it back with added steps.
We're getting Trey Baxter versus Rich Holland.
Oh, is it? Wait, what?
Who?
Wait, are we? Oh yeah, are we getting? Oh, we're also getting the finals for the breakout tournament, right?
No, I don't see it here on Wikipedia.
Supposedly Vince is a huge Odyssey Jones fan. Like he's already working live events. Can you believe that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, so we got rid of Bronson Reed, who was ready for this guy. Cool.
Oh, we got Walter versus Dragunov.
Walter's on the card too, right?
Oh yeah, Walter versus what's his name? Dragunov, Ilja. We shall see how it turns out. Like I said, I just wasn't too excited for this to really want to care. And
well,
honestly,
they
I want the new champ to breathe. You know what I'm saying?
Why'd they switch him?
I don't know.
They just be doing shit. Like,
that's NXT's just logo. They're just
like
doing shit.
Looks like we're the main event show on Sundays now. Like, nah, it doesn't work that way. Like, we got free for all.
I think Alliance Stadium for some reason only could have Saturday opening, and then since takeovers in Orlando, they could just switch it.
So what happened with that was they wanted to do Saturday, and they picked Saturday before they realized that there was a boxing fight because it didn't get announced yet.
There was a UFC match and a boxing fight.
Yeah, it was. I was like, you had one job, but whatever. I mean, yeah. That's all I gotta say. I can't bail him out, bro. I can't bail him out on this, but. Yeah, man, that was the wrestling for the weekend. I'm gonna be hitting you guys with this quick video. Of course, we had to do a reaction to all the crazy stuff going on in the past 48 hours with CM Punk. Also, the fallout from SummerSlam, and also hot takes on the Bianca situation because I was trash. Basura.
The WWE's just like so unlikable. Like I'm trying my best. Like I was talking about my friends. I was like, if I didn't chat with you guys weekly, I don't think I'd be watching WWE.
No, this is therapy for me. I mean, the amount of people who were vocal when that happened, when they were like, "Oh, I see." So both African American champions making history at WrestleMania getting knocked off. Okay, I was like, "Yo, I came real direct and quick," and I'm like, "They kind of got a point." Kind of got a point, but I'm like, I don't know. Vince is like, what? Oh, I'm not that tone deaf. I would never let that happen. Oh wait, both of them? They both made history? Yeah, you made.
What are you talking about? She's Irish. She's also.
You made the history up to begin with for them to even make this history possible, Vince. Oh man, but feel free to as always follow us, man. We drop content every week, man. That's gonna be Flow Wrestling Pod and Flow Wrestling Show. Also, feel free to follow us, the host, man, the Fresh Triangle, if you will, the Flow Horseman as well, man. I am Kwency Jones Go, and of course, we got Brian Andrew _ and at Mac Low, and please don't forget to follow LA Clips Forum as well. Lucy Fur Hammond,
she's taking a nap.
I'll tell her we got her in our thoughts. You know what I mean? But anything you got to promote, Mac? You got anything?
Nah, man.
I mean, you want to. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't see you with all that gold on your shoulder. The $2 championship is blinging.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the champ right now. You understand me?
I'm on a remote location. I can't let you know my whereabouts.
I had to pick up the title since they took it off of Babe. So,
yeah, word. And she actually looked fierce. Like she holding you down. Like she like, and don't even think about it again.
You know what I'm saying? So.
I love it. Black love is beautiful. Hey man, I appreciate y'all doing this, man. And we're definitely gonna get together and talk the fallout for Takeover. Hopefully it's worth talking about. I don't know what else we're talking about because
imagine if we waited to watch it and then we still didn't bring it up.
Yeah, we're like, so that happened. Anyways, so Raw didn't really have a win. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, we'll get to you guys next week for sure, man. Until next time, always appreciate you guys supporting us, listening to us, watching the videos and everything, man. And don't forget to check out our link tree for everything we do, man. Until next time, we out. It's been the Flow Show. For the love of wrestling, peace.